to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
One early spring morning, a quiet figure wandered into an old orchard. Sunlight filtered through branches laden with pale pink buds that trembled with subtle anticipation. The orchard was situated at the far edge of a small village, just beyond a low stone wall, where tall grasses waved in gentle swells. The person who stepped into that orchard had come seeking calm, drawn by the promise of bright blossoms and the serene hush of springtime renewal. The orchard spread out like a timeless mosaic, rows of apple trees curving along a gentle slope. Early dew clung to the grass, sparkling like tiny crystals in the day's first light. Birds chirped softly, their morning calls blending into a serene chorus overhead. As if in harmony with the birds, the orchard itself seemed to hum with a kind of softness. The murmur of a breeze through new leaves, the rustle of petals just beginning to open, the faint trickle of a distant creek. This hush invited one to walk slowly, mindfully, and simply listen to the world waking around them. As a new warmth filled the sky, the blossoms unfurled, their petals soft as silk, tinged with pale pink and white. Each cluster of flowers seemed to cradle the morning light, reflecting it back in a tender glow. Bees began their gentle dance among the branches, drifting lazily from bloom to bloom, lulled by the orchard's dreamy stillness. The figure strolled further, eyes alight with wonder at each delicate petal, each shimmering drop of dew. The quiet was akin to a lullaby, the orchard's breath moving in time with the breeze that swept lightly under the branches. It was a sacred moment of peace. The orchard's soil was dark and fertile, kissed by the remnants of winter rain, ready to nourish the new season's life. A few apple blossoms fell gently, their soft pink petals twirling to the ground in slow spirals. Each petal floated as if suspended by an invisible thread of magic, landing silently upon the grass below. In these details, the figure found a comforting rhythm, nature's soft, slow heartbeat. Wandering along a gentle path, this quiet traveller noticed a small wooden bench tucked beneath one of the older apple trees. Moss clung to its legs and corners, a testament to seasons past. The wood was worn smooth by time, inviting one to sit. They settled there, letting their legs rest and their mind drift. The breeze seemed to pause, as though nature held its breath in gentle camaraderie. Above, blossoms rustled, and the sun peeked through small gaps in the leaf canopy, sprinkling patterns of light on the traveller's hands. From that vantage point, the orchard revealed its subtle symphony of life. In the near distance, a pair of butterflies fluttered between blossoms, their wings catching sunlight with each graceful flutter. A gentle hush pervaded, punctuated only by the soft hum of a honeybee or the faint call of a bird perched on a high branch. If one listened closely, the sound of a faint creak could be heard, winding its way through fields beyond the orchard's edge. Every element embraced serenity, inviting the traveller to simply be, without urgency or worry. In time, clouds drifted lazily across the sky, their shadows rolling over the orchard like a soft, passing wave. The traveller rose from the bench to follow a well-worn path, deeper into the orchard, stepping carefully over small roots that nudged through the earth. As they ventured on, rows of trees revealed delicate clusters of flowers so abundant it appeared as though the orchard was wrapped in a pastel-hued blanket. The sweet fragrance of blossoms filled the air, mingling with the faint scent of damp earth, forming a gentle perfume that soothed the spirit. The figure paused to observe how each branch held countless flowers, each one a tiny marvel of creation. There was a profound respect for the transformation that came each spring, how the sleeping orchard awakened into bloom, how quiet seeds and roots pulsed with new life beneath the surface. This cyclical dance between seasons was reassuring, offering a feeling that all things find their pace and moment to flourish. The traveller's footsteps slowed, lulled by the orchard's gentle invitation to remain still and simply notice. Nearby, a small patch of wildflowers emerged at the orchard's edge, as though drawn by the shelter of the apple trees. Soft purple and yellow blossoms nodded in agreement with the breeze. One might see a ladybug crawling along a blade of grass, or a tiny green caterpillar inching its way toward a nearby leaf. Every moment offered a miniature scene of wonder, each movement hushed and tender, as though mindful not to disturb the orchard's serenity. The traveller felt a sense of belonging, an unspoken connection with nature's gentle rhythms. Gradually, the sun rose higher, bathing the orchard in a warmer glow. The traveller came upon another clearing where an ancient apple tree stood like a sentinel. Its trunk was thick, its bark marked by swirling knots, scars from storms endured, and triumphs of seasons long past. Yet from those aged branches sprang the sweetest, most abundant blossoms of them all. Staring up into the canopy, the visitor could see how thousands of petals shimmered like soft confetti, alive with possibility. A few petals drifted downward, lightly brushing the traveller's cheek, as though bestowing a gentle, silent blessing. A soft, lilting breeze stirred, setting the upper branches swaying, and the petals joined in a mesmerizing dance. They spun and glided through the air, painting swirls of pink and white against the soft blue sky. Sunbeams caught each petal, lighting its translucent edges as it floated through the orchard's hush. In that moment, time seemed to slow, each second elongated by nature's quiet grace. The traveller turned in a slow circle, arms open to feel the presence of the orchard, the swirl of blossoms, and the tender hum of renewed life. With the day maturing, the traveller's path wound toward a small brook that meandered along the orchard's boundary. The water gurgled softly over round stones, carrying a gentle melody that blended seamlessly with the orchard's hush. Overhead, the gentle sigh of a spring breeze swept through the canopy, carrying the faintest hint of apple blossom perfume. A wooden footbridge crossed the brook, a simple structure, weathered by years of passing footsteps, coated in trailing vines and tiny buds. The traveller paused there, resting elbows on the railing, gazing down at the shimmering water as fish darted beneath the dappled light. Each ripple in the brook glistened like liquid crystal, reflecting the shapes of swaying apple trees. With each breath, the traveller felt the orchard's rhythms merge with their own heartbeat. It was a moment of unity when the quiet pulse of nature seemed to whisper, "All is well, all is at peace." Above, a distant flock of birds travelled across a pearly sky, their gentle calls echoing across the open air. Beyond the orchard's fringe, green hills rolled into the horizon, suggesting a wider world, yet not intruding on the orchard's calm. Moving past the bridge, the traveller discovered a patch of tall grass, golden at the tips, where the orchard opened up to a soft clearing. The grass swayed with the languid grace of dancers in a slow waltz, each blade catching the play of sun and breeze. Small white petals dotted the ground, remnants of blossoms that had released themselves to float free. Standing there, the traveller felt the orchard's deeper presence, a nurturing silence, as though nature's spirit tucked the orchard into a cocoon of gentle rest, waiting patiently for fruit to come in its season. In that clearing, a small circle of stones formed a humble sitting area, perhaps used by others who had discovered the orchard's peaceful charm in years past. The traveller settled onto one of the larger stones, feeling its cool, smooth surface beneath. A gentle hush enveloped them, a lullaby woven by swaying branches, chirping birds, and the whisper of grasses. Tiny insects flitted in and out of wildflowers, neither intruding nor distracting, but adding to the orchard's tapestry of simple life. The traveller closed their eyes, letting the orchard's presence fill every breath, as quiet as a secret held in soft dawn light. Time drifted without hurry. Clouds shapeshifted from one form to another, passing overhead as unhurried reminders of nature's endless dance. In this gentle orchard, where blossoms glowed with pastel radiance, hours slipped by like ripples on still water. The visitor rose again, feeling refreshed, as though a soft weight had been lifted, replaced by the orchard's quiet reassurance. Not far away, a slender path curved between low boughs, beckoning them further in. Leaves rustled a welcome, branches parted as though offering a gentle invitation. Following that winding path, the traveller noticed patches where soft moss coated the ground, forming living carpets beneath the trees. When footsteps pressed upon that moss, it yielded slightly, as if nature had placed a cushion specifically for the comfort of wandering souls. Petals dotted the moss, like nature's confetti left behind after a joyful celebration of spring. Each step forward felt like a drifting dream, unhurried, guided by the orchard's gentle pace. Around a bend, the trees opened into another clearing, a serene space where a small pond glimmered. Framed by wispy reeds, Its surface reflected the gently drifting clouds and the soft silhouettes of orchard trees. At its edge, a weeping willow dipped graceful branches into the water, leaves trailing across the pond's mirrored surface. The traveller paused, enraptured by the scene's quiet loveliness. A few ripples spread as a shy frog hopped from the bank, disappearing with a gentle plop beneath the surface. The orchard, standing watch all around, seemed to cradle the pond in a serene embrace. For a time, the traveller lingered there, watching dappled sunlight play across the water, catching glints of reflected sky. No voices called, no schedules pressed, only the gentle flow of breeze and the subdued chirp of distant birds. The orchard became a friend, holding its visitor with a tenderness that asked nothing in return. In that stillness, the traveller felt old knots of tension loosen, replaced by a subtle joy, an understanding that the orchard's peace was an invitation to rest in life's gentle current. All around, the air shimmered with that promise. Eventually, the traveller stood and continued along the path, guided by a meandering fence made of weathered wood. Over it, apple trees presented branches heavy with blossoms, forming archways of pink and white overhead. The canopy created a soft realm of shifting light, each sunbeam dancing across leaves and petals as though in playful greeting. The orchard's hush encouraged slow breathing, soft footsteps, and a gentle heart. Even the traveller's thoughts quieted, lulled by the orchard's timeless lullaby. A kindly breeze stirred, rustling new leaves, urging blossoms to release a few more petals to the air. It was as if each falling petal whispered a gentle reminder to let go, of tensions, of worries, of anything that might weigh the spirit down. The path turned, leading to a place where a few old apple crates were stacked, half hidden by flowering vines. Perhaps, in a different season, orchard workers would have been here, gathering baskets of fruit. For now, in the hush of early spring, the crates remained empty and still, a humble testament to the orchard's cyclical nature. Onward, the traveller went, noticing how the orchard's mood subtly shifted. A deeper quiet settled around them. The bees had grown more active in the midday sun, their hum a comforting, steady presence. Branches overhead intersected in delicate patterns, petals drifting by like soft snow. Warm sunlight now filtered through in golden beams, creating a peaceful interplay of light and shadow that seemed designed to calm the mind. In that glowing serenity, it felt like the orchard itself was breathing, each swaying branch a gentle exhale, each unfurling leaf an inhale. Further along, the traveller approached another wooden bench, this one placed beside a stout, knotted tree trunk. The bench faced an open vista of the orchard, rows of blooming trees extending in neat lines, gradually blending into the horizon. The traveller sat, letting the hush settle over their shoulders, feeling the orchard's gentle acceptance. And as they gazed upon the blossoms, it was impossible not to sense the softness in the air, the profound calm that sprang from each root and leaf. In that moment, it seemed as though the orchard cradled the entire world in a blanket of soothing petals. The traveller allowed memories to surface and drift away, each exhale releasing them like petals in the wind. It was as though time had paused, offering a pocket of stillness free from the day's demands. The orchard's tranquility wrapped around them, guiding thoughts to slower, softer places, like a lullaby that soothed mind and heart. A faint bee's chorus gently rose and fell. The breeze ruffled the blossoms, and the orchard's secret life ebbed and flowed in a harmony that asked for nothing but one's presence. In due course, evening began to hint at its arrival, painting the sky with a gentler, softer light. The traveller, feeling an urge to explore just a bit more, stood and followed a narrow footpath that curved back towards the orchard's heart. Shadows lengthened, stretching across the ground, and the colours of the blossoms took on a luminous quality in the sweet evening glow. The breeze, now cooler, carried the scent of blossoms mingled with the slightest hint of night-blooming flowers from nearby hedgerows. After a short walk, they returned to the orchard's entrance, where an old stone wall marked the boundary between orchard and meadow. The traveller stood for a moment beneath the arch of budding branches, looking back at the rows of flowering apple trees. A hush blanketed the twilight, the orchard preparing for the gentle stillness of night. Petals lay scattered along the path like the day's memories, softly resting on the ground until morning. The orchard exuded a peaceful hush, as if whispering a warm goodnight to every blossom, every leaf, every visitor. As dusk approached, a gentle hush descended, the orchard's inhabitants drifting into quiet rest. Bees retreated to their hives, their day's work done. Birds tucked themselves into hidden nests within branches newly graced with blooms. And the traveller, heart full of the orchard's calm, let a final glance rest on the petals overhead, each one an affirmation of life's gentle renewal. The orchard's invitation was clear: return whenever the spirit hungered for peace. For here blossoms greeted each day with grace, and quiet wonder lingered in every breath. Now, dear listener, allow these images to remain a soft presence in your mind. Let the memory of that orchard, the gentle breeze, the warm sun filtering through the blossoms, and the hush that settled over every leaf, carry you deeper into rest. Feel your body grow heavier, supported by the surface beneath you, as if the earth itself were cradling you like the orchard cradles its blossoms. Each breath becomes a delicate wave, cresting gently before receding into a still pool of calm. Notice how your eyelids feel, heavy and relaxed, how the muscles in your face soften. Let the tension in your jaw melt away. Observe the slowing rhythm of your heartbeat, steady and comforting. In your mind's eye, you can still see petals drifting lazily in the breeze, their soft dance mirroring your gentle breaths. As you inhale, envision the sweet scent of apple blossoms. As you exhale, imagine releasing any remnants of worry or strain. Gradually, the orchard's hush enters your quiet center, allowing your mind to unwind and drift. You have walked through the orchard's pathways, observed its gentle wonders, and found a place of sanctuary beneath its flowering canopy. Now, as the hush of evening deepens, simply rest. Let every muscle loosen. Feel every breath open a space of peace within you. There is no more striving, no more moving, only the slow, steady current of nighttime calm enveloping your entire being, lulling you further into soothing rest. The orchard remains in your thoughts, a tranquil refuge you can return to whenever you need. Its blossoms continue to bloom in your dreams, each petal a silent reminder of natural beauty and renewal. The nighttime air wraps around you like a soft blanket, your limbs heavy with pleasant fatigue, your mind drifting into a gentle lull. Even your breathing slows to match the orchard's quiet rhythm. In this calm, every moment stretches softly into the next, leading you closer and closer to the threshold of deep sleep. Let your final conscious thoughts float lightly as petals on a breeze until they settle on the soothing darkness where dreams begin. When you are ready, slip into that serene landscape, guided by the orchard's gentle melody, enveloped in the silent hush. Let each breath carry you deeper, coasting softly into a peaceful slumber. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.